Hey everyone, welcome back to By Its Cover. I'm Leah, and today we are talking about Nevernight by J. Kristoff. So I'm doing this kind of rush because I just got back from a business trip on which I was reading this book. I finished the book literally last night, and now I'm gonna film, edit, and upload this hopefully in one evening, so we'll see how it goes. So I wasn't finishing it last night just to get this video up. I was actually really immersed in the story. If you don't know what it's about a girl named Mia who is training to join a super special league of assassins in order to avenge her father's death. But they live in a world where there are 3 suns, and because of their different cycles, it is almost never dark outside. But Mia has some special powers where she can control shadows to her will and create like cloaks where she's invisible and stuff. And it's all about her training in this secret church to avenge her father and kill the men who executed him. That's all I'm going to say for now because I thought it was really good, and I have a lot of thoughts and opinions and things I want to talk about. So I'm going to make a book talk video for it. So sometime that'll happen. So hopping into the design, the jacket design was done by Young Jin Lim, who is a senior designer at St. Martin Press. He is a designer and illustrator and has done a wide variety of covers from YA to nonfiction, historical, journals, cookbooks, I think. Dude does it all. Also does some logo design. The illustration for the cover was done by Jason Chan. He's obviously an illustrator, but he's actually a senior concept artist at Riot Games. So he's done character illustrations for some pretty big games: League of Legends, Magic the Gathering, Mass Effect 3, Sims 4, and Dragon Age. And the typography for the cover was done by Meg Morelli. I couldn't find a lot of information on her, but I did find this cool picture of the sketch for Nevernight. So the title was obviously hand-drawn, but it's used throughout for the book sections and the chapter titles. I'm pretty sure she didn't make a font, she just had to sketch chapter once for every chapter and then book and then the numbers on top of the title. So there's actually no embellishment, varnished, emboss, deboss, or anything at all on the cover, which is pretty rare nowadays, but I liked the choice for leaving that true for the main illustration and background because it gives her shadow this really soft look, like it would actually appear in real life. If there was a varnish on it or anything, it would be really cheesy. I do think the title could have used some embossing or varnishing or metallics of some sort because it's really beautiful and I'd like it to stand out more. Sometimes I do find the font hard to read, as in this case of this kind of prologue, but it's also written in another language, I'm sure, so maybe that's why I had trouble reading it. Now, the setting for this book is a fictional world, but it draws heavily from Italian influences. They swap in a lot of Italian words like familia, and when they talk about these masks, they use the original name. So this full face mask here is called a volto. Speaking of the world, there's these really beautiful maps. The maps are by an illustrator named Virginia Allen. That's Allen with a Y if you want to know. But on top of like this really detailed continent, you have this really nice hand lettering of the country's name, along with illustrations everywhere, little banners to mark the cities, this really good border featuring the 4 goddesses they worship, as well as this symbol that represents the 3 suns and the god of the 3 suns that they all worship. And then this one is a close-up of the capital city called God's Grave. If you care, it's that little island right there, and then it becomes that big island right there. There's also a map in the back that's like an ancient version of the continents, and I'm not gonna... Ooh, girl, did you hear that crack? I don't want to show you too much of it because it doesn't like spoil anything, but it's at the end for a reason. The body copy is Garamond Premiere Pro. That's not Adobe Garamond, there is a difference somewhere. And the hardcover is completely black and the text on the spine is metallic red. Now, this is gonna be a little different, but there are a few layout choices in the book I want to discuss. The first is that chapters don't break and start on their own page, and they don't even start on the next page. They flow from one end to the other, which I guess is a good way to save paper. It's like a weird choice because I usually like the pause you feel when you have to turn a page to the next chapter. This, I just want to like keep reading, but also I always want to keep reading, so I guess it doesn't really matter. The separate book titles do get a full page for themselves though. And the other thing is that this book is told in the third person, but the narrator speaks directly to us. It's kind of set up like this is a memoir being written about the main character. And because of that, there are lots of footnotes throughout the book. This one is particularly big. Some of them are only one line or one word, but they just kind of go into more detail about the world, like society things, religion things, judicial things, government, slang terms, phrases. So it's really cool to make sure everyone understands all the world building that he's created, but it's also this weird other voice that is continuously talking to you throughout the whole book. And in the beginning it's quite heavy because like you're learning all these things, and then when it starts picking up pace they fade off quite a bit. And I've never had a fiction book before that had footnotes, so I don't know the proper layout procedure with them per se, but like in this case when it was really long, it could start on the one page and go on to the next page, but then I'd go back to the previous page to keep reading where I was. It's just really strange. I've never had to do that before. Sometimes I'd even skip over the asterisks because I missed them and then be like, wait, what was this footnote for? Go back and find it, read the footnote, turn the page, continue. And then obviously the second book in this series, God's Grave, has just come out recently. This is the cover for that. It is a very similar style, just new illustration and new title for the new title, but same style of everything, and I really like it. This is going to be a trilogy, so I'm excited to see how book 3 will look and play into it. Based on the two next to each other, it's kind of like a Pokemon leveling up right now, you know, just like evolution, like bigger weapons, bigger wings, whatever. Okay, that's gonna be it for Nevernight. Thank you so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. Look out for the book talk on this because I really need to talk to people about it and nobody else that I know in person has read it. So I will see you guys in the next chapter.